Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Talk More Wrestling podcast, the wrestling podcast where we normally review pay-per-views, and last night was an interesting one to say the least. It was the Royal Rumble. My name is Turbo Tony. I'm here with Matt Marsander. How are you doing today, Matt?
Pretty good, Tony. So, on a bit of a mixed feeling for last night, I think you said.
Controversial, I think, is the word. There's been plenty of stuff going on regarding the what I would state the two big matches of last night and what the what definitely is going to be the main event at WrestleMania now. I mean, that's what they've been advertising on, and obviously we get to our thoughts on that. Seems that everyone has their thought in regards to the what happened in the actual Royal Rumble match. We've got our own opinions, and we'll be able to relay that to you there. Just want to say thank you to all our subscribers, by the way, who helped us get over the 200 subscriber mark. That's always good news. And as you, our current listeners, are always aware, we very often... I don't think we've ever missed a pay-per-view since we started this, have we? We always review the pay-per-view.
I think then there was you just like, nah, I don't think we'll bother. I was like, yeah, we will.
And you've been pushing me to do it ever since. Now, it's just something that just, comes naturally. And we've got plenty of questions and everything like that for the episode at the weekend. If we've got a Raw to actually review, considering all the health hazards that seem to be going on. So that'll be interesting.
It's coming.
There'll be an episode anyway. Hell, even if there's not a decent enough Raw to watch, then we'll just review NXT. Easy.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
By the way, I was just thinking to myself, it's just like, from the storm that's coming, the flame storm.
Oh dear. So, if you guys do want any questions added on and you want them answered before we do the weekend's episode, then make sure that you leave a comment here or either on the video, the episode we did prior to this one, and that way you can get featured on the podcast, which is always good stuff. However, we've got a Royal Rumble to talk about. And like I said, one of the most, I'd state, noteworthy Royal Rumbles, and possibly for all the wrong reasons. But obviously we'll get into that, as we get there. There's Turk Force. Well, I'm getting my... See, I'm just not used to doing this. Like, literally, we're doing this the day after the pay-per-view. We normally leave it until, 2 days afterwards.
Give it a day or two,
yeah. Yeah, there we are. I'm still tongue-tied over the previous episode. The pre-show that we had. I didn't watch this. Did you watch this, Matt?
Nope.
No, I didn't care. The New Day against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. As you said there, Matt, it seemed suspect that Xavier Woods would be getting into the ring. And by the looks of it, he wasn't. So he didn't actually wrestle in that particular match. But as you said there, Matt, it seemed like it wasn't likely to happen regardless of that. I can't review this because I didn't see it. That's just the bottom line.
That's quite true, but then it's simply enough. Do I really care?
Yeah.
No.
For those that do care, and I don't think there's many of you, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd get the victory. I said before that the New Day won on Raw, so it was a pretty good indicator that they weren't winning at the pay-per-view. It's quite odd how that just seems to be the norm nowadays. But yeah, Cesaro and Kidd get the victory. I don't know where this is going, and to be honest, I don't really care. I think that's the bottom line with it all.
Mm-hmm.
So to open up the show, the funny thing about this that apart from the final two matches, the only thing that were left on the show were just 3 tag team matches all in a row, and they started off the show. So,
oh god, yeah, it was just 3 tag matches in the main event.
Yeah, that's it.
So I was certain I was finished watching the whole event, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't see something. I must be missing something.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. I was like, there must be a singles match in here somewhere. No, there wasn't. So, yeah, a bunch of tag team matches all back to back. The Outlaws versus the Ascension kicked off the show with, Road Dogg showing that, as I said, he's still got it on the mic. He can still talk as good as he ever could. And you'd argue throughout this match. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this match, Matt, because I got to tell you, and we said beforehand when it comes to the Ascension, that what we wanted to see from them wasn't so much just a victory, but a dominating victory, an uncomfortable victory.
Yep.
This wasn't that. It was
not at all. It
looked like to me, and feel free to disagree here, it felt like to me that the Ascension literally were lucky to get this victory. That they were dominated.
It was a very soft win.
Yeah. I thought that, to be honest, it was like an 80-20% split on who got the offense, and you'd think, oh, well, that's okay. Well, the problem is the Outlaws were the 80%. For the first half of the match, it was all Outlaws. None of the Ascension were getting anything going on here. I'm not going to say, oh, they completely messed them up. It doesn't help them, I don't think. And the way that the commentary are stating to us, this is a victory that shows they've arrived. Well, the Outlaws haven't wrestled for almost a year, so, and considering it looked like they could barely eke out a victory against these guys, it doesn't show that great on them. It's not like Brock Lesnar later on rising from the dead and German suplexing the world. It's nowhere close to that. And not that I expect the Ascension to be on like Lesnar level, but the similarities to the way that you should book the two teams if you want this to be looked at as a dominating tag team. Then book them dominating tag teams. It's very easy, but what's your thoughts on this match anyway? Like the way that it ended. Where does it go for you?
I don't think it solved anything.
Yeah. To be honest.
I think it was just that sort of just like, oh, and it's got to be definitive, and it's just like, it was essentially, look how Billy Gunn hasn't aged.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how the match went.
Yeah.
The Ascension got the win.
It was more praising the Outlaws than the Ascension, even though the Ascension got the victory. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Now, whether that was down to design or not, I don't know. But, well, of course it was down to design. But the fact is that the Ascension could be, if they were tweaked and if they were dealt with a little bit better, they could be so much more better off than they are now. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
First month of them being on the show has not really worked. Not really.
It's not sat particularly well, no.
No. And like I said, you're a huge fan of this tag team, so like you've got a bias and an interest in these guys doing great. If you're saying to me that these guys aren't doing it, then man, I don't know what else.
Struggling.
Yeah. We can only call it as we see it. We hope here that they go on. Maybe they do go against more legends, and they, like I said, they have to make it uncomfortable.
Well, the thing is, go against more legends. I don't want this to turn into what was it, a few Manias ago or something, like Jericho versus a triple threat handicap of legends or something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't mind that as long as they dominate. The fact is they haven't yet. They look like they're struggling to deal with near on 50-year-old men who haven't wrestled for almost the entire year. And a lot of people say, well, The Undertaker doesn't do that. Yeah, but still, like... This is a new group, Well, The Undertaker doesn't do that.
Excuse me, did you miss WrestleMania 30?
Yeah, we got destroyed by Lesnar, yeah, exactly. Wasn't that impressed, have to be honest, with these guys.
No.
And
I mean, this is the only problem. It's like, for people who don't know of the Ascension, like for those, it's like, oh, buy the network or whatever, and it's just like, but if you haven't watched NXT before, if you know nothing of the Ascension, it's just you're struggling.
Yeah, I get you. They're completely different animal on the main roster than they are to NXT, and that is to be expected. NXT, as much as we love it, is still a small crowd. You know what I mean? That give guys there a lot of big props and chants that really some of them don't deserve to because they're not that good. But they just haven't transitioned at all well, and it is a shame. Because finally, I don't want to dwell too much on the Ascension, but I think there's a slot for a tag team like them. That's the thing. I just don't think they're there. I don't think they've currently shown us what they can do, and half of that's down to bad booking. Half of that is to Connor opening his mouth and delivering very shit promos back to back. But still. Usos against Miz and Miz and Mizdow. I got my prediction wrong for this match, so you can be all happy there, Matt. Go on.
Yay!
Go on. Gloat a little bit.
I got it right.
Yeah, of course you can. The one thing I always like with the Usos matches is that even when they have a bad match, and this wasn't a bad match, it was okay, it was good. But one of the things you can always expect from Usos is towards the final blows of the match, they have a way of cranking up things a little bit. Then other teams just can't do the same thing. They can't make the final parts of the match really seem like it builds up to a crescendo. Usos can do that pretty damn well. You have to give them props.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The one thing I would say, though, when it goes to the Usos and other people on the roster, like Dolph Ziggler, is how much the super kick is used nowadays in Raw. and WWE as a whole. They
Loads.
need to tone that down just a little bit. It's getting a little bit excessive at this point. Considering, back in the day, you get hit with one of those things, you're done. Now it seems like you have to be super kicked twice by the Usos and splashed to lose a match nowadays.
That's it. Or super kicked once, then double super kicked again.
Yeah, it just seems like everyone now has a super kick. If you're Paige, you have a kick. If you're Dolph Ziggler, you have a kick. If you're the Usos, you have a kick. If you're half the NXT roster, you have a super kick. It's I'll tell you what, the one person that, if you're going to give it to, I think it would be Tyler Breeze in NXT. I think he does a better one than all of them, personally.
He does do a very good super kick, yeah.
The amount of times I think, genuinely, when he's hit that, I think, that must have really hurt. And it doesn't, because he just lands it really well with a really good sound. It's, the problem is now it's getting too watered down,
Yeah.
So, Usos do win this match, as I stated there. And
as I predicted.
As you predicted, yeah, I knew you were going to go for. And I do think this is the end of Miz and Mizdow against them. More than likely, they'll go towards Miz splitting with Mizdow. You can probably see that happening now.
Good.
But who do the Usos go up against now? It's pretty much an open field. There's a few heel teams, but there's no one. Someone could throw. Oh, you could put the Ascension in there. The Ascension, in my opinion, too early to go to that point yet. They're not. They're
not in the title compared. The thing is, though, they've wrestled the Usos before, but on NXT.
Yeah.
But it's that whole sort of like, if you haven't seen it, you would never know, and then you realise that this is a stupid decision.
And we know that Vince McMahon barely watches NXT, and if he hasn't seen it, technically it doesn't exist. So
yeah, that's it.
That's the bottom line with it. But the fact is that Usos will move on here. They will go into WrestleMania as the champions. The problem is, when you look around this time last year when they were in a rivalry with the Outlaws, it looked like at very least they had some sort of plan leading into WrestleMania, and that went a bit awkward because they decided to drop them the belts on a Raw instead of WrestleMania. But it just seems again, and if I were the Usos, I'd be a little bit gypped that as the tag team champions, there just doesn't seem to be anything in place for these guys, and they may be given one of these random matches, like a tag team turmoil match or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit rushed and thrown together, which you'd think those are two descriptions you wouldn't want attached to your yearly mega show, which is WrestleMania, thrown together and tacked on. You want more build up with everything going on there, but I can't see anything on the horizon. I can't see any big team that's been built up to go against them. It's the crux of it, really.
Yeah, I can't see how it works out.
Yeah, personally. And they could have Miz against Mizdow against them again. I just think that it's played out now. Miz and Mizdow technically have had their matches against Usos, rematches and all that lot. There's no reason why they should have another tag team title shot.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Here we go. Bella's against Paige and Natalya. This was a match that went just shy of 10 minutes. And before I start, I know that we've said here on this show that we want longer Divas matches. So fair play to them getting 10 minutes. If these girls were given 10 minutes to impress us, they blew it. I mean...
yeah, they fucked up. Good.
Fucked up. Big time. This was a long shocker of a match. It was bad. I was surprised how rough, how sloppy at times, and downright idiotic were the women in this ring. And these are some of the... You could argue the 4 women in the ring are probably the best in ring that they've got on the main roster at the moment.
Yeah.
Right? AJ Lee's not around. You think Paige, Natalya, Bella's, they're probably 4 of the best. Yeah? Well, they didn't certainly look like it. They looked like a bunch of amateurs in there.
It's just sloppy. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
well. I mean, now, the big spot of this match, which really infuriated me, and I would expect her, of all people, to know better at this point.
Was it the tag botch?
It was the tag botch. And it was Natalya's fault, right?
Yeah.
You look back at it again, and you could tell it was supposed to be her spot. It's supposed to be her in the ring. Paige tags her, to get out of the ring, and then they do like a little bit there. And then, when Natalya gets back into the ring, she tags Paige.
Yeah, she's almost like as a high five, but then she went to go and do her spot. And it's just like, Eh?
Yeah. And the referee's sitting there going, well, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be in the ring.
What are you doing? You're tagged.
Yeah. It was a massive mess up. And unfortunately, every so often...
Time to think on your feet, girls.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for Natalya, and I do like Natalya, people know on the show, we praise her as much as we can. But every now and then, she will drop a very stupid mistake on us.
Yeah.
This was one of them. I remember the other one being...
Was it in this... This is my only problem, because I've spent all of today just watching Royal Rumble and NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Was it during this match that she blatantly called the electric chair drop?
Yes! Downright shouted it out.
I'm going for a drop, is that okay?
Yeah. She looked, it was almost as if she looked into the camera, you know, the hard camera, and, and said the words electric chair and then did the move. Try and hide it a little bit, you know. Where else is she supposed to go up there? You know, exactly.
That's it.
Natalya here was the main offender of why this is bad, and the other spot that I remember her doing, she had, I can't remember who it was, but she had another girl in the sharpshooter, and before the girl tapped out, she released the sharpshooter and started celebrating. And the referee was like, she hasn't tapped out. And then Natalya was there, standing for a little while, not really knowing what was going on, just raising her hand and looking at the referee.
The match isn't over.
Yeah.
What?
Just every so often, she goes a bit blonde on us, you know. I know she is blonde, but she goes a bit stupid.
Yeah.
That
she goes stereotypical.
Yeah, and I don't know where that comes from, because she should know better.
She's a heart, damn it.
Yeah. I'm sure Brett, sitting at his home watching Royal Rumble, must have had his head in his hands thinking, Natty, Natty, Natty. What were you thinking? What an absolute mess up that was. And she is the most experienced out of all of them in the ring. I would state that Paige wasn't too bad, but there was still some sloppy stuff in this match.
Yeah.
This was really disappointing, and because the reason why maybe I'm ragging on this match more than maybe some people think, that it deserves to be, even though it was a shocker of a match, and it was a waste of 9 minutes, how long it was on.
Yeah.
The reason I'm annoyed with this is because
I had full main event, damn it.
But I'm looking at the long term, right, Matt? In the future, Vince, with his creative team, they're going to say to him, why don't we give the Divas 10 minutes this week to see if they can show us something good?
Oh, I'm sure he's going to... Last time at Royal Rumble.
Yeah. This could set a very... could it be another year until we get, another 10-minute match from the Divas division? It was bad, and it could have in-ring consequences for the division, because it is very fragile, and it's very unimpressive at the moment. This match...
It was awkward at times.
It was downright awkward. I'm sure Botchamania will have a fucking fit with this match, and fair play to him. There's plenty of stuff you could use from it.
So Botchamania would have a fit, and they would be right to do so.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a very entertaining episode, regardless. Natalya, she had a mini not a mini meltdown. Her brain just went off in this match. I don't know what she was thinking.
Too busy thinking about cats or something.
Possibly thinking about what she's going to be filming for Total Divas later on that night. That's even more infuriating for me. I was disappointed in all involved. I really was, because one of the things about having the network is, as I said, I've been going back and watching some kick-ass Divas matches. Not Divas matches, women's wrestling matches. Yeah. And then I watch this and I'm like, come on, girls, come on. You don't get many shots to show what you can do. You have to take them. And this was a failed shot. Are you as disappointed as I am?
Of course I was.
Yeah. I
was just I genuinely rewound that. I was like, what the fuck did this... with that whole, tag mess up, I was like, I'm rewinding that. What the hell just happened?
That stuff shouldn't happen at the biggest worldwide wrestling company in the world. Outright. Yeah. It shouldn't happen.
The thing is, I was also really sort of disappointed with the finish.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was... The whole match just
a forearm. It's like, but you have a finisher.
Yeah. That forearm is so hilarious, considering it's almost like Big Show's punch. Why doesn't she just use that right from the offset?
Yeah, ding, 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 whack.
Yeah. I think that's a dumb finish, to be honest. But still. So, yeah, that left a sour taste in my mouth. However, as the Bellas, Paige and Natalya left a sour taste in our mouth, there is 3 men on this roster who decide, you know what, guys, we understand that was a bit of a shocker. Let's just give you the best match of 2015 on WWE so far. And it was, are you ready for it, guys?
A humdinger!
Oh, it's a humdinger of a match. My God, was this a main event to be excited about. It did not disappoint on any level. And I have no qualms of saying this is the best match of the year on WWE television. I know it's only in January, but it's got to be, it's the first contender for match of the year.
It's definitely a major contender, yeah.
Yeah. I won't forget this match for a while. I thought this is probably one of the best triple threat matches involving the WWE World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE title that I've seen in years.
Yeah.
I thought all 3 of these men including Cena. I know we rag on Cena a lot. I thought he played his part in this superbly. I thought all men had a great account of themselves. Most of all, Seth Rollins, who did take the fall. But Matt, can anyone disagree with us now when we say he is main event at this point?
This match really did sort of prove one thing that I'd read somewhere. It's just like, it doesn't matter what happens, even if he loses, this match is what cements Rollins.
Yeah, as a main event star.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it looked at multiple
Such
points.
a big way. That was just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he looked like $1 million here. There was a big spot where he elbow dropped, jumping from the top rope, elbow dropping Lesnar through the table, kayfabe breaking Brock's rib. Lesnar himself, let's talk about how Lesnar was booked. Lesnar, while he got a significant, and it looked like he was going to lose a lot, they booked this match in a way that made him still look like he was an outright monster, that he was just ungodly.
Oh, God,
yeah.
How are we going to stop him? I don't know.
Yeah. I would state that, considering he won the Rumble, it's going to be very hard for him to convince in that match that he's legitimately beaten Lesnar when everything's said and done, considering that he just looked invincible, near on unstoppable in this match.
Especially after that table spot.
Yeah. So I have to bow to every single one of these men, and if there is one match, and I am very shocked, because it's never this way at the Royal Rumble. If there's one match you want to catch at this year's Royal Rumble, it is not the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
It is this one. That something there is, some people might say that's correct because this is an actual wrestling match.
Of course it's correct.
But what I mean is that the majority of the time, the Rumble is what people will go back and watch.
Oh, yeah.
I won't go back in a year's time and watch the Rumble. I'll go back and watch Lesnar versus Cena versus Rollins.
Yep.
There is something wrong with that in the way that WWE certainly didn't want it this way. So there is that. Let's tell you about the finish. Like I said, Lesnar looked like he's down and out. They've got medical personnel out to cart him out. But as it looks like that Rollins has got the victory with a crazy top rope spinning 450 thing. I don't even know what that was. It was pretty damn impressive regardless.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It's like, oh, that's new.
In the end, he was going so fast, I don't even think he could level himself out for a splash. He just kind of headbutted Cena. It looked impressive. It really did. And I know you may have done that before, but he hasn't busted out anything of that caliber for a while, Seth Rollins.
It's like, don't forget, I also used to be the high flyer of the Shield.
Yeah. That was awesome. But as he goes in for the pin, looks like he's got it, and who would emerge? Brock Lesnar, and all the medical personnel have got their hands on their head, looking at him bemused.
Like, how the hell is this man standing?
Yeah. And he downright flings Seth Rollins right off of Cena. There's like a kerfuffle, and then as Seth Rollins looks like he's got Lesnar for the curb stomp onto the briefcase, Lesnar decides, well, I may as well finish this.
I'm done now.
I'm done now. F5s him, walks out champion. Which I'm glad of. I said that Cena would win this match. I was wrong. You said Rollins would walk out with the title.
No.
You said that Lesnar would win.
Walk out of the event, but Lesnar would win.
So your prediction for the match was correct.
That's correct.
Did you get all the matches right on this show? I think you got a full suite.
Yeah, because I even got Rumble.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Everyone, give Matt a round of applause, everyone.
100% on a Royal Rumble.
Man, that's impressive. I've got to give you that.
Excuse me whilst I join the rest of the IWC and just bitch and complain about it.
Well, we're going into that now, aren't we? Okay. So here we go. Everyone seems have their thought on regarding the Royal Rumble. Before we go into the massive controversy regarding the event, I have to talk about the other stuff first, which was the stuff that I thought was pretty cool. You know, the likes of having Bully Ray or Bubba Ray, as you know, WWE.
Fucking Bubba! Oh my god!
Yeah, he made his return. I expect him to be
marked out like a child.
So yeah, it was awesome to have him back, as we know, because I've watched him on TNA. He's in better shape than he's been in, you know, much better shape than he was when he was Bubba Ray, you know, at that time. But he came out with the full gear, you know, of the Bubba Ray gear. I do expect him to be. I don't expect this to be his only appearance for WWE. You can probably expect a few more heading down the line. Hell, that might even be if they can get Devon for one match. They may even make a, Team 3D against Ascension thing going along with that storyline. Maybe. I wouldn't like that, but no. So yeah, he made a good account, and you know what? Out of all the surprise returns, he was the one that looked like he could go throughout the majority of them, as you would expect, because he's still relatively active.
Yeah.
Still in great shape.
That's it. I loved it. I just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, good stuff there. And yeah, he had R-Truth with him there to play the role of Devon. So he got his 3D, he got his get the tables spot, which there was no tables there, but yeah. So he had some good moments there. Boogeyman also was one of the shock appearances, just to kind of have a freak off with Wyatt, which I think Wyatt won because it looked like Boogeyman was like, what the fuck am I in the ring with here? Which I thought would be quite funny because he's supposed to be the Boogeyman and he's afraid of Bray Wyatt.
And I'm coming to get you, but not you because you're fucking weird.
Yeah, because you're just fucked up, man. Don't want any part of that. And he was promptly dumped out of the ring. But he got a good pop at least. DDP, who has come back before, but not really in a match, so to speak. I think the last time we had him around was the 1000th episode of Raw, remember? I think he was there for that. Oh no, it wasn't just that, it was just before that with the whole Heath Slater stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he got mega pops with every diamond cut he was using here. Didn't look like, for all the yoga he's doing, he's ready to get back taking bumps on a regular basis, so don't be expecting that.
Oh, especially like not even halfway through his time in the ring, he was like, my back!
Yeah.
Shows how good your yoga is.
I'm sure everything is okay, but I mean, come on. He's DDP the first to admit he's no spring chicken. He's not meant to be taking massive bumps, but he looked alright in there. He did his moment well until he was dumped out as well. Here comes the controversy, though. Here we go. Daniel Bryan. It all starts with Daniel Bryan, and this is arguably the reason why.
Was it entry 8?
I think he was fairly early. I mean, he was around 10.
Something like
that. Fans popped for this guy like mad. He came in, he was doing okay, fine with Wyatt, because Wyatt was dominating at that point. Almost had a shade of the same sort of thing that Austin and Bret Hart had. Not as good as that, but it still had a shade of that sort of thing, that one guy could stop Wyatt being so dominant, and that was Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
However, so Daniel Bryan comes in, and there's he's doing okay. He's doing alright. Looks like he's going to do okay. And then not promptly, not straight afterwards, maybe about 5-6 entries after that, he gets eliminated by Bray Wyatt.
It's like, I think one thing that really the gripes is it seemed like the most pathetic elimination.
It was a bit of a shock one. You wouldn't expect him to, you see all these people often, they would just do the shoulder to the gut and then they would go back into the ring and do that. It shocked the fans, and unfortunately for the match, the entire match went downhill from there.
Well, probably because the crowd were literally just like, it doesn't matter who's next. Anyone. I kind of feel sorry for Kofi.
He came out
was the next person out.
Yeah.
It's just like, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan's out. Fuck everyone. Boo everything.
Boo everything. There was very few that got away from the home crowd's wrath, and all of them who did, let's say Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Ryback got, was at least cheered, were all promptly dealt with. They very rarely had any lengthy stay inside the ring. So, as if anything, to get the fans pumped up and ready to get back into the match, it seemed like Big Show was just there, clonk, throw him out. and it got a feeling of that just there was nothing good for the fans to get pushed into. I know why they did this. Well, I know I can make a guesstimate. I love that. To why they did it. And the thing is, I think WWE knew as soon as Bryan was going to get eliminated that people would get pissy. But I think their thinking of it is, he gets eliminated early. By the time Roman eventually does come and he does win the Royal Rumble, then the boos would have dissipated by that point.
Funny.
What a massive miscalculation on their part if that was the case, because if anything, it made the rest of the Rumble very awkward and uncomfortable.
Especially considering, like, the moment Roman's music hit, it's just like, boo! Like, the biggest boo of the night.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no.
The one person that I feel sorry about all this isn't Daniel Bryan. It isn't any of the other men that came into the ring. The person I feel most sorry for this is Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
It isn't his fault he's being booed that much, okay? Now, I'm not saying, people don't have a reason to boo, even though I wouldn't have booed myself. But it's...
I wouldn't have booed.
Yeah. It's... The fact is that WWE didn't help themselves here. They made a massive error, and now he has blanketed out what should have been, on the night, Roman Reigns' most memorable night of his career to date. And WWE made the unfortunate mistake of dumping Bryan out early, and then the fans felt as if the man wasn't respected enough. And then it didn't come to a point where the fans weren't invested in the match anymore. It got to a point, especially when Ambrose was eliminated, and it just had the final three, Big Show, Kane, and Roman Reigns. The fans did not give a flying... Well, they did give a flying fuck, but unfortunately...
I could have turned the TV off.
Yeah, a lot of them probably would have been like, I don't even want to watch this now.
Yeah.
WWE should have learned from their lesson last year. They obviously haven't. Not just putting Bryan in the Rumble and getting rid of him does not quell the fans' need to see the man.
Yeah.
Now, here's how I would have booked it, and I think this would have gone down much better. Even if he still got booed at the end of the night, it still wouldn't mean he got booed throughout the majority of the Rumble anyway. Okay. I would not have had Daniel Bryan eliminated until the very end of the match, where Roman Reigns eliminates him, because obviously.
Well, like a final four sort of thing.
No, final two. Have the two.
Final two, proper last, right to finish. Yeah.
And obviously, he's going to get booed for tossing Bryan over the top rope. That's inevitable. It's going to happen. And then afterwards, you have Bryan come in, obviously gutted that he's lost, but ultimately shake the man's hand, said, "Well, on this night, the better man won." But I'm not stopping, to try and get the belt, and then he leaves the ring to Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
that's how I would have booked it. Because let's face it, the way that Roman Reigns has been handled the last couple of weeks hasn't helped the guy. Let's face it, this last month has been horrific for him, right? He's won the Royal Rumble, but he'll probably have one of the most... I mean, I would argue him winning the Rumble this year, he got a worse response than Batista did last year.
Actually, and by far.
Yeah, I mean, Batista, you could argue maybe got booed a lot more, but at least that helped him turning heel. Roman Reigns here, he got booed, but a lot of it was just they were booing at the situation. They didn't really give a crap about it.
It's like last year, Bryan had a match on the Rumble pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So they were just like, maybe he'll double duty sort of thing, because a lot of people do it.
Yeah, and some of them did that on the night,
Yeah, but with this case, with like Royal Rumble last night, it was just simply the case of, this is the only chance we get to see Bryan, and he's out in 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought their handling of it was very piss poor. I think a lot of people will now be thinking coming out of this, WWE need to fix this quickly before it gets out of hand, and it'll be very hard for them to do so because they've mucked up, they've messed their bed in the way they've handled this, and they may have inadvertently sabotaged their future main event star to the point that he may have to do ironically, The Rock, because he came in for the save after the match, and actually go heel. That may be the only thing that, at the end of the day, Roman Reigns has to do. He has to go heel, because there's no other avenue.
I think it's now just going to become an inevitability.
Yeah, especially if this continues. If WWE can't fix this, if WWE can't make it so people genuinely want to see Roman Reigns win that belt, then first of all, they would have failed booking him because they
Yep.
didn't have the foresight to have their finger on the pulse about what fans wanted and what fans had. Some of them stating what they paid to see, because we all know that the cancellation page of the WWE Network crashed under influx of cancelizations. That's the best way. By the way, if anyone wants to start up, protests or petitions, or
I've genuinely seen a Change UK petition for it.
Yeah, that's not going to work. WWE don't give a shit about that. You could even try and apparently I heard reports of them stopping the talent from leaving the arena. By the way, that's fucking stupid. Anyone who did that, I've got no time for you. I really don't. The best way.
It's like, nah, that's like, so imagine if someone was like unhappy with how you did your job today and they just stopped you from leaving work.
Yeah. It's nothing down to the talent.
It's the talent. It's not the talent's fault.
Like I said, alright, that's the reason why I think Reigns here is the most victimised party out of all of them. I reckon he went into this thinking this is going to be this is going to be a moment that my career went on a trajectory, and people may think, oh, he's so fake, he's so established. He got the establishment behind him. He's so what's the word? Like manufactured, and he's so made up. He's not real. He's fake. He's every word out of his mouth is Vince McMahon. They seem to blur the lines into thinking that Roman Reigns, the character, and what he's told to say and how he's told to wrestle is the same person as the guy who is Roman Reigns. The guy must be coming out of there thinking, shit, that was supposed to be the best night of my life, and it kind of crapped on.
Shat on.
Yeah. I would guarantee that.
I think it must have been.
Go on. No, you go on.
I was gonna say it must have been terrible. Like he just like gets out the back and sort of like checks the Twiz Twitter handle or something, and literally just like you've got so many mentions of just simply enough. Fuck you, Roman Reigns.
Yeah. He's been mishandled as a future star, Roman Reigns, and and some argument can be put forward to. And the fact that last year people were cheering Roman Reigns, wanting him to eliminate Batista. They were cheering him like a hero.
Yeah.
And this year he's been treated like the Batista. Some people, unfortunately, have it out for Roman Reigns when really we haven't seen him started. Here's one thing I would like to pose to those said people. Okay, people that maybe have taken this a bit too far. Right, you've got your right. If you want to cancel your subscription, all power to you. That's the best way for WWE to get pissed off with the situation.
Because they'll lose money.
Yeah, that's what Vince McMahon cares about. But here's the thing: look at this from Vince's perspective, sitting in the gorilla position, watching the show, watching his apparently future talent get booed. If I were Vince McMahon, and he's done this tons and tons of times before, knowing the guy, he's probably going to think this isn't working. You know what I'll do? I'll go back to the same card I've played 10 years. I'll go to the John Cena card. If new stars don't work, I'll just give him John Cena again.
I read something that I kind of agree with. And it was somebody like, the way the crowd's going is they're just going to end up making Daniel Bryan the new John Cena.
Yeah.
Just with the fact it's like, if you don't shut that up, like, it just he'll be all we get. And he'll always win, and he'll always be unbeatable, and all stuff like that. Because otherwise, what happens if it doesn't go in Daniel Bryan's favour? Riots.
Yeah, listen. Like there still is people want to see Daniel Bryan succeed. They've bought into his character, and he should be booked better than he is. This is like in this match.
Oh, definitely,
yeah. Right.
But the only problem is the fact that he's just sort of like. I think it's the bad Daniel Bryan's return. I think was poorly managed because it's just like, well, we've already got a plan for Rumble, and we're not going to change it. We've already got our Mania plan.
Yeah.
Why should we step away from it? And it's like, I don't know. Let's bring Daniel Bryan back. Why? Because everyone is literally going to go, Daniel Bryan's back. Fuck everything else.
Yeah. That's an argument that can be stated. Maybe if they held off Daniel Bryan to maybe debut, make his comeback, kept him off TV until the night after Royal Rumble, then maybe things have gone a little bit better for Reigns.
Monday after Mania.
Yeah. Oh no, well, no, I think that's too long because I mean the guy's got to
Well,
work. You know what I mean?
no,
Like if
no,
he's okay.
I understand
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
it's like but for that sort of thing, it's like, and I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. He's going to win. He's going to go all the way to the Mania, and he's going to get the championship. And yay! What, same as last year?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with Bryan winning the Rumble again. I actually don't have a problem with Reigns winning the
I
Rumble
don't
if
have
it
a
was
problem
handled better.
with anything that happened last
Yeah,
night.
I thought it was very.
Reigns won. Well, I knew it was going to happen because Reigns is their next big star. And how do you get big stars? Put them in the big matches.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. First of all, right, this is what I wanted it to be clear on. I have no issue with people booing if they don't like it, right? If they don't like it, that's fine. You have your right to do so, okay? I think your anger is misplaced. I don't think your anger should be towards Roman Reigns. I think it should be towards the company itself and make your action towards them. I also believe that people trying to cause riots and trying to blockade like talent leaving the arena, getting in front of their cars, that's just stupid. Like, why would you even try and do that? It's professional wrestling, guys. It's not like I would like to see how many of these people would go out into riots and protests about wars going along around the world where people fucking die. Yeah? There's more important things than professional wrestling. And we do a podcast on it. Yeah? We do it for fun. Sometimes wrestling isn't fun, so we do the podcast to make it fun. Yeah? One of the comments that we got, which I really enjoyed, we'll get into that at the weekend, was doing the podcast sometimes makes it fun, even though I might rag on it, listening to our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out of my way and make someone else's life harder, in terms of like actually trying to stop them leaving an arena because I didn't like something that their boss told them to do. That's fucking stupid. Yeah. You have to do something every day that your boss doesn't like. All the people, hard-working people that listen to our podcast, you have to do stuff every day your boss tells you to do that you don't like doing. It's part of work. Do people have to hate you for it? I guess they do, but even then it's misplaced. The fact is that I think the anger, WWE did not handle it correctly. That's the bottom line. They should have known that booking Bryan in that fashion sabotaged the entire Raw. It made the rest of it bad.
Especially in a place like Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. Yeah, what are we going to do? We're going to dick over a fan favourite in the most fan-heavy city in the US.
The fact, I think maybe it's part of the sour taste in people's mouths as well, is that the way he was eliminated, as you said there, Matt, was pretty much like he was just a usual guy.
Yeah.
Just a regular guy.
Done.
Just bumped out of the ring. And just never got...
He turned up, he had his spot, and then he left.
And there was never any... there was some moments where crowds perked up, but all the surprise entrants were before Bryan came out. And then they had a long stretch of nobodies coming into the ring. Probably because they thought, oh, that would soften the blow. That just makes it worse, because people don't have anything to cheer for. It was a... we'll talk about this as a fail of the week. One of these, down the years would say, well, remember Royal Rumble 2015? When they...
failed.
Idiotically, we'll have two on this show. We'll have the tag that was but wasn't acted as it should be, and we'll have the Daniel Bryan elimination. That shot over the rest of the event. And having The Rock come out and raise the guy's hand
that was one thing that was just really bad. It's like, it sort of says a lot about to WWE when it's like, when it's bad, when The Rock can't save it.
Yeah. Now, I think there is a chance that things can be dealt with, and he'll go into WrestleMania, and he'll beat Brock Lesnar, and he might get somewhat of a reaction. I guarantee you won't get a Daniel Bryan reaction when he won the belt.
Oh, no, not at all.
And like I said, I feel very sorry for Roman Reigns. I really do. That's the one person I feel most sorry for in all this.
Yeah.
And some people say, well, no, why don't you feel sorry for Bryan? Bryan's had his WrestleMania moment. I want to see the guy succeed. I know he's had a horrible year, with his injuries. I want to see him succeed. I want him to be champion again. But come on, Roman's a new guy. Give him a chance. Don't blanket him out. I know we've slammed his promos, but... And, the fact is, I've never said I don't want the guy... I've never, on this show, said that I don't want Roman Reigns to be the new guy. The new top star. We've always said that if he's going to be the new face of the company, he's got some good attributes to be that. More power to him. Yeah, we're not going to step in his way just because he's the chosen one, until he gives us good reason to. I think WWE have egg on their faces the way that this was dealt, and ironically, it's a marker that they did not learn from their mistake. They did the same. I know people might say, I know we're going around in circles a little bit here, but I just want to do it in a summary. But people might say here, well, they did learn from their mistake because they put Bryan in it. No, it's not the same. Putting Bryan in it and getting rid of him, treating him like he's just a B+ player, ironically.
That's it.
You were asking for a bad reaction, and it put a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and it just didn't go. There was nothing else to perk anyone up. The way I thought that Ziggler was handled as the number 30 entrant, I thought was a way that they could possibly get the fans back into it, and then they decided, we'll just knock him out and throw him out.
Yeah. Would you get two men to just pick him up, sort of lift and shift him out of the ring?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the way it was done, it was stupid. It really was. And what's your thoughts about it anymore, or shall we wrap up there?
I think I'm done with the Rumble. Yeah. But I do remember one thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was one of our recurring jokes mentioned on the pay-per-view.
Really? I'd like this. Go on.
Would you rather watch a Miz movie or Capital Punishment?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually. Yeah. I remember that. It's ironic, isn't it? Considering we've been talking so much about that pay-per-view over the last couple of weeks. Like, no, we don't want to watch it. We don't want to watch it, and it's like, yeah. So. Oh, good stuff. So.
There it is. I was like, I'm gonna have to take a picture of it just to put it on Twitter, just to prove I genuinely have it, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Maybe that's for the best, Matt. Maybe it's for the best,
No, it's right here.
If you guys did enjoy this review of the Royal Rumble 2015, then please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and catch our usual weekend podcast where we review every segment of Raw and give the wrestling news of the week, favorite of the week, and our fan feedback as well. Thank you to all our fans who have supported the show. We're well past 200 subscribers now. I'm just shocked at the amount of support we get on a weekly basis from you guys. If you do want to ask any questions, you can ask it either here at the comment section, or you can tweet us at TalkWrestlePod, and Matt will get those questions for you there. And you can follow us on that Twitter handle as well. Apart from that, though, I think that's all my shameless plugs done.
I think that's it.
I feel all dirty because I've plugged so much, Someone can make an innuendo out of that. Sure. Especially with our talk of trumpets in the last episode. Exactly. And Eric Rowan loves the pussy. Anyway, let's continue. We'll see you guys at the weekend. I do hope that you guys joined in Royal Rumble, and please leave your thoughts, of course, because we'd love to hear from you guys. And apart from that, though, we'll see you guys at the weekend.
We'll catch you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.